Right, we're here at Bayliss Avenue with the new Welling Town manager, Danny Wakeling. Danny, first of all, welcome to the club. You've been here a few days now. What are your thoughts?
I'm tired. The phone hasn't stopped ringing. Kev and I spoke really quickly. It must have been 48 hours ago now, I think. And we moved fast and sort of had to make a quick decision. Jobs like this don't come up very often with clubs that do move in a positive direction like this one has over the last 2 or 3 years. You tend to take over clubs that are struggling. So it come out of the blue a little bit. So we've moved fast and it's been non-stop. So how am I feeling? Loads of players to contact, coaches to a point. If I'm honest, I'm tired of today, but very worthwhile exercise out there this afternoon.
For those that are not aware of you, what have you been doing the last few seasons?
Previous club, I was in the league below. We took over a side that was on a points per game average, bottom of the table, and would have finished bottom of the table had that continued at that sort of points per game rate. And the table was put together from the day that we walked into the club, from sort of mid-November, without any players actually at that point. We had to sign 16 players on a Thursday night of training session to get the team out on the Saturday. We ended up sort of finishing 5th in the form table, which isn't a bad effort, to be fair. It's a credit to all the lads that got involved. I mean, none of them were being paid at all, so they left their clubs that were all stable and happy with, and they sort of jumped on board and took the club in the right direction. Before that, I went back into the Kent County League after a couple of clubs at this kind of level, or league below. In the Kent County League, a team that finished second from bottom, Division 2 West, sort of 4 years ago. And we managed to turn that around, win 2 leagues back to back, and thought my time at the club was done the following year. We was top of the Prem after winning the first 7 games. So that's what I've done the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Sort of went back, rebuilt. And to be fair, I never looked at moving on, but sometimes when the opportunity arises, you've got to take stock of the situation. I think actually we've worked hard here and we've earned an opportunity to move up the leagues. And like I said, this one came out of the blue, but when you get offered something like this, I just think you've just got to take it. You've got to challenge yourself. You've got to take it. You've got to take it.
You'll be aware of the Welling Town players. What kind of awareness have you got at this level of scaffold?
Loads, to be fair, because I'm always out watching games whenever I can do. If my club hasn't got a game on a Tuesday or Wednesday or a Monday night, whatever, I'm always out watching games. Go out Sunday mornings, watch Sunday League games, OBD, SFL and Westford games. Always out there looking for Rough Diamond or someone that stopped playing Saturdays but has got a good name and a good reputation. So taking games of all levels, to be fair, Bostic levels too, 23 Suburban League games, just try and get as much as you can in. Football's a drug, and when you're addicted, there's no getting off of it. So yeah, you see the same faces at the same grounds all the time, and you're sort of part of that sort of small network.
What would you think would be the main differences between Sceffel 1 and Sceffel Premier? Do you think that there's a big jump?
I think there's a relatively big jump. Yes, I think you can sort of say there's a hierarchy of clubs in Sceffel Prem. If you talk about the Premier League in this country, they talk about the top 4, and then another 2 makes it a top 6, and everyone else is almost trying to stay up in a way. I think there's a little bit of that in Sceffel Premier. You've got some very strong established clubs that have been around a long time. They've got their own grounds, they generate their own revenue, stronger fan bases, so therefore that leads to bigger budgets, and when you're in trouble with a couple of injuries or suspensions, you can fix it pretty quick. So I'd say there's sort of a good 8 clubs that are the hierarchy there, and then the rest of it's probably a much of a bunch. You can finish 7th or 8th or 9th in the Sceffel Premier, down to sort of 15th, 16th. It might come down to goal difference or 2 or 3 points, and it makes it quite tight and competitive. But I do think there's a hierarchy in there, and breaking into that is difficult, and especially if you're a club that doesn't own its own ground, exception don't have the revenue that they will. But that's the thing about football. It's 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, every game starts 0-0, and everyone's got an opportunity to go out and improve themselves.
What do those better clubs do at that level? Are they fitter? Are they quicker? Are they a bit more experienced? Or is it a combination of everything?
I think it's a bit of everything, and a lot of them players that sustain playing at the level for a long time. Some of them are players that could play 3 or 4 leagues higher, but their work life means they've got a career where they will play as high as they can. So they're very polished, and everything they do is very autonomous and very deliberate. So you'll face more quality more often for longer batches of games than you will do in Step 6 and probably sort of bottom 6 of Sceffel Premier. So, but you can say that about every league and every tier in the country, to be fair. But yeah, a lot more autonomous, quicker and sharper, because players just think that bit quicker and they don't dwell on their decision making. They make a good decision quicker, more often, and you end up leaving the pitch knowing you've been in the game.
As for Welling Town players, is it in your intention to First of all, have any Welling Town players been released?
No one's actually had the phone calls yet. We've had to go through an extensive list of players that were registered to the club. Proven to be a bit difficult making sure we get everyone's details in such a short space of time. The priority the day we came in was to make sure that the trial session as an obligation was seen through. So in a perfect world, you probably knock that on the head and make sure you steam into what you can do as quick as possible. But it was there, it was on the horizon, it had to be dealt with, and we looked at sort of 50 players that night, and sort of 3 or 4 were out there this afternoon. So it ended up being not a negative, spin it to a positive. So it put things on hold in terms of getting in touch with everyone from the squad. And to be fair, it wasn't even a squad, but I mean everyone's a free agent since the last ball is kicked, which all these boys like to hashtag on Twitter, free agent and stuff like that. So it
decisions with the little smiley, what are they going to do next?
Thinking all that sort of stuff.
But is your intention to speak to some of the Welling Town players?
Got to try and get round to all of them, just so everyone's sort of treated as a man, really. To be honest with you, even if your news is good or it's bad or it's indifferent, I've had to have some very open and honest chats with a few players that have been used to certain things a certain way already. But they all know it's changed and things are changing because they have to change. And I've got to stay true to myself. I've got this opportunity because I've been true to myself over the last few years, and I'm not going to change that. So you succeed or fail by yourself, and I'm going to remain true.
And over pre-season, how confident are you that you can get a squad that will be somewhat competitive in the division at that standard, without saying you're going to go for promotion?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that should be stated at all. We will have our own in-house targets. Periodically, we're going to work on sort of 4 to 6 week blocks. Look at the fixture list and study that and think, what do we need, what could we get? And we're going to motivate ourselves in sort of smaller blocks, I think, more short to mid-term goals, and then break it down that way rather than turn around and say, well, our aim is to finish here or to do this or do that. Every 4 to 6 weeks at a time, evaluate things, evaluate our processes, and not only with non-contracted players in 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes you can lose 3 or release 3 and bring 4 in, so you get high turnover. So we won't be in a position, I think, to turn around and say we're aiming for this. We're just going to go out there with hard work, dedication, the 3 A's which I firmly believe in: ability, attitude and application. You give me a player that's got ability but his attitude is poor, his application is negligible, you haven't got a player. You haven't got a player. Give me a player, his attitude is spot on, he's 100%, his work ethic's fantastic, he applies himself 24/7, he's a positive influence on those around him, and if his ability is raw, we will help him achieve a better level of ability. So we'll be in that bracket of club, I think, going into Skeffel Premier, and I think that's a good sort of moniker and a good foundation to build from.
Finally, you'll be bringing in your own coaching, Scott. Do you want to go through your coaching staff that you've got at the moment?
Yeah, it's quite embryonic because we put ourselves together over pre-season. I was looking to extend. I like to work with people that challenge you. Don't nod and just receive. They tell you that you stink at times, they tell you your idea is ridiculous, and they're prepared to go nose to nose with you as well. I think it's all challenging, it's healthy, it's important. Can't handle being in a yes man situation. Yes, the final decision is down to me, but I'd rather there's 20 opinions being thrown in, you've got to find the best one rather than walk around and think that your opinion is the only one that matters. So it's a relatively extensive management team. And a couple of lads are a little bit younger, but they've got good experience, well qualified across various levels of the game. The characteristics of us all blend quite nicely, and it can be combustible at times, which I think is brilliant as well. Can't always be plain sailing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working ahead with them. We just need to bring in 1 or 2 more in terms of I think physiotherapy role needs to be filled at the minute, and a goalkeeping coach who I spoke to this morning, but we're looking to bring one of them in. But yeah, we've got good depth, good coverage, because again at this level of football not everyone can be available every single week or every single game all the time, so it might look like quite a wide management team, but it's for a purpose. We'll always make sure we're operating with a number of people that we should do, and if any time we're overloaded, we've already said to the boys you'll be working across the club, 23s and reserves, so we're going to do that, create a culture and create an ethic where it's a family-minded club, and if you're a 16-year-old in the 23s or a 35-year-old that's played pro or whatever in the first team, you're all going to be treated the same, you're going to be looked at the same, and they'll be expected to behave the same. Well, Danny, thanks for talking to us. Welcome to the club, and we'll see you at the next friendly. Thank you very much. Cheers, mate. Thank you.